So this is the second part of it. So, during the time I was in the hospital, my father and my other person were there almost every day. Um, they never left my side. They stuck with me through the whole thing. Um, and I think without them, I don't think I probably would have I guess be where I'm at. But also come to the realization that I was given a second chance at life. Um, People have their higher power. People have their own beliefs. I don't push it on anybody. But God gave me a second chance. I had somebody looking after me, and it wasn't that time. It wasn't my time. Now the people, or the probability of somebody surviving this, they don't. And again, it's not to boast myself. It's not to think, oh, like my story's better than yours, or like, guess what? Like I survived. No, that's the reality of it. It's fucked up. And it's a struggle. And it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life, or ever had to deal with. Not only physically, but mentally, it's been the hardest, toughest road I've ever been down, or I'll ever go through. While I was in the hospital, my person had gotten, we had some talks and said, Kyle, you're sick, you're having an illness, and you need help, and you do need to get right. So while I was in the hospital, they had looked at treatment centers for me, for mental health, not like a hospital or anything, an actual center, like a well-being type of deal. So I got out of the hospital, and I had went to a treatment facility in Tennessee called The Ranch. I was there for 31 days. I was in a surreal, everything felt surreal. I was living in a fucking in-between zone. It was not easy. I had never done anything like this. And I tried to fight it every chance I could to not go. But I knew I had to go. I didn't have a choice. So me and my father drove across country, halfway across the United States, to go to Tennessee. I couldn't fly because of my lung, and I couldn't be in that high of altitude. So our only option was to drive. We drove for 3 days, 2.5. 2 nights in a half day, so 2.5 days, all the way to Tennessee. When I arrived there, I just cried. I hugged my dad as hard as I could. He hugged me. We both cried. I've never seen a grown man cry in my life. I've never seen him cry. And that was the first time I'd seen him cry. And it was the most surreal, fucked up feeling. And it was such a hard thing. I got to the ranch. I'd still been in a daze. This had not hit me yet. My suicide attempt. Me shooting myself had not hit me yet. It did not. It did not hit me until about the second week into treatment. It was the most overwhelming feeling I could ever explain. And you know what, how do you explain it? When I went to that treatment facility, it was the hardest thing in my life I've ever had to do, to open up, to be vulnerable, and to be real and emotional and to feel. But it was also the most beautiful thing I could have ever done too. What I learned at the ranch, and what, through my story, that my story impacted every single person at that facility, every single therapist, every single caseworker, every single staff member. They had people that had gone in there for suicidal ideations or thoughts, but they had never gone in, and never had anybody go in there who actually really crossed that line. Who had actually really crossed that line and actually stepped over that line and went through with it like I did. So it was a very humbling experience, and it was a very deep and traumatic experience to go through. I went through extensive therapy in there. I went through trauma and EMDR therapy, which is therapy for people who suffer from PTSD, from traumatic events, and from people that suffer from, traumatic events and trauma, whether from a childhood or until now. And so I had therapy, quite a few days a week. And it was in the most beautiful place I could ever think of. We're in the real country, farms, horses, cattle everywhere. You could just walk up to the neighbor's house and hang out with the horses and stuff, but you can also ride horses there. And you're in a huge house with quite a few other people, aren't like 10 people, but you're in the thick of it with them. You guys are all going through some crazy shit, and the bonds you create there was the most beautiful, humbling, and craziest shit I have ever witnessed or been a part of. And I will forever be grateful for that. That place had taught me and shown me so much that I could never, there's nothing I could do to repay that back. I will forever cherish that and forever understand that and know that. I was in there for 31 days. And I got out, and reality hit. And I still struggle every day. It is a fight every day. For me, it is a life or death. It's a life or death for me, in the sense of, that I have to actively take care of myself mentally. I have a few therapists I see. I have, I take my mental health very seriously now. It is not a joke. It is not something to take lightly for myself or for anybody. I don't have necessarily an ending to this story, because I'm still navigating. I'm still going through it. I'm still coming to terms with things. I'm still trying to understand and find and fulfill my purpose in life. I still battle sometimes of, why am I still alive? How come I didn't go? How come God didn't take me, or how come it wasn't my time? and I'll never, and I may never know that, and I have to understand that and accept that. But I also have to understand and accept that, I'm no longer the same person as I was. I lived a lie. I set my whole world on fire. I ruined every single relationship, I ruined friendships. I burned bridges. I've destroyed myself and my life and didn't even know I was doing it. I was blind. Being mentally ill isn't an excuse. I take full accountability and take ownership of my actions and what I've done and who I've hurt and what I've done and how I've hurt myself and hurt others. And it kicks my ass every fucking day. But I'm learning to accept it and using it as to push forward, to be a better person, to be an empathetic person, to be a sympathetic person, to be a person of honesty and truth, and to be a person, a better person in general. Somebody that the person that I'm supposed to be, and that people have seen me or have known me as to be, and the person I want to be. I want to have a future for myself. I want to be able to have joy and happiness in my life for once. And want to be able to live and I can't necessarily say a normal life, but a better life. And I'd never done anything like this before, so please, bear with me. I battle every day. I give my best effort every day. It's not easy. I struggle every day to the point where it's hard to look myself in the mirror every day because I'm reminded from my scars, my exit wounds, my surgery scars, and just looking in the mirror being like, what the fuck? How did it get to this point? How did it get there? And it's hard. And the shame and guilt that I carry every day hurts. It's not only because I hurt myself and what I did to myself, but what I did to a few people in my circle and in my life that forever changed them, that hurt them, that crushed them. It's hard. It's really fucking hard. But I'm learning to accept of what I did and how I hurt them, and I empathize and sympathize with them, and it sucks, and I just want them to heal and be happy, and I'm just like I'm trying to heal and be happy with myself. I'm learning a lot with my mental health and the things that that I have to do in order to become a better person. I'm learning a lot of tools and I'm learning a lot of things. I still struggle every day, and it's never perfect. It's never it's never easy, and I can't say that it does get easier. It just becomes easier to manage and easier to navigate and to understand. And I'm trying every day. I can't tell anybody or say sorry for what I've done because I'm not ready to make amends with that and with others because I'm still having to navigate and accept things for myself. I don't know if I don't know when I'll be completely okay or better. I really don't. But I will put my best foot forward every single day. I will try my hardest. I will not want to let the people that are in my circle down. And I will try and be able to accept myself and learn from myself and love myself. And to know that I'll be worthy of a future. I'm still going through therapy every day. I'm still in physical therapy. I am still trying and navigating every single day. I take it day by day. Sometimes it's hour by hour, but I take it each day and each moment. But I am learning now that I just want to be happy, and I want to have joy in my life, and I want to, hopefully the people I've hurt can forgive me, and I want to be able to forgive myself one day. So with all this being said, I thank you for listening to this. Again, this is the realest shit I've ever posted or talked about. I don't know if I'll keep it up or if I'll take it down. I just want to let you guys know that mental health is a very serious thing. It's a very serious fucking thing. And there's nothing wrong with, taking care of yourself and doing that. They put a stigma on everybody's got to be strong and you have to be a man and you can't share emotions or feelings. And I think it's more of a man if you show emotions and feelings, and I think you're stronger with breaking down and understanding things and showing raw emotion, and showing feelings and being able to feel and to be able to navigate through that. By any means, again, this is not a poor me. This is not a sympathy video. This is not a this is not like a playing victimhood or anything like that. This is just me being honest with myself and honest with others, and for me to not have to tell this story over and over, for me to not having to explain myself and not having to continually talk about it. I ask that you respect my privacy in my story. I ask that you respect a few others that are involved in this and that have been very close to me, and my friends, and and it's no offense to everybody else, but there's only a very small select few that know about this. And it's in my my circle. I don't know. I don't know what's to come of this story or anything like that. It's just to clear the air, and it's just to explain myself, and maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe it'll reach people. Maybe it'll do something. I don't know. But thank you for taking the time to listen to this. And again, this isn't, I don't want any questions as to why. I don't want any questions or be like, oh, I wish I could have done something. And it's no offense to you or anybody, but there's not one thing anybody could have done to change my mind, unless you're physically there and took the gun from my hands. That would be the only thing that could have changed that. But it was my decision. This is my story. This is my testimony. This is my journey, and nobody can take that away from me. And this is my way of navigating through things. So yeah. I hope you guys have a a happy new year, and cherish your loved ones. Cherish the people around you, and check on your people too. Thanks.